happening, y'all? That is a tune called The Milky Way. It's a Vincent Broderick tune. Flute player, whistle player, has written a ton of great tunes that fit really well on the flute and whistle. So grab a D whistle, low D whistle, flute, whatever you're feeling like. This is mine. In this case, I'm going to use the silver lyre here. Let's break this tune down. I like playing tunes written by flute and whistle players because they naturally fit very well. Sometimes fiddle player tunes are a little bit fiddly and they just don't quite fit as well, but the flute and whistle players, you know, they know what works on the instruments, so those tunes tend to fit really great. So if you're in the mood for some new tunes, some stuff that's not just super by-the-book traditional, look up other Vincent Broderick tunes. He's written a bunch of great ones that fit really well. We're going to dive into the basic melody here. Before we do that, I do want to take a moment to point out that I've rolled over 30,000 subscribers. That happened like a few months ago, and between going to Ireland and gigs and stuff, I just didn't really have a chance to do anything. Usually I do a giveaway for some big number, and today is no exception. I'm going to be giving away a vintage Generation D from like the 80s. I bought a set of these, and I don't need like 3 of them. One will probably do the job, so I'm going to give this away. If you're interested, stick around to the end of the video. We'll talk about how to do that. So in the meantime, let's break down the basic melody here of this tune, The Milky Way. So here we go, starting with the A part. It's kind of the first half of the A part anyway. It's a fairly repetitive tune, which is, in my opinion, kind of nice. It makes it a little easier to learn, and it's got a good hook to it. You know, it's just a catchy little tune. Here's the second half of the A part here. It's fairly repetitive, starts the same as the beginning does, just the last phrase is a little bit different. So here we go. So again, just that last section is different. The first is a complete repeat. Let's run the whole A part all the way through. If you are interested or in need of sheet music and tabs for this, I do have that on my Patreon, as well as a deep dive on this where we go through some of the variations and detailed ornaments and some of the more advanced sort of things. If you're interested in that, link is down below. Feel free to check that out. Here's the whole A part all the way through. Nice and slow, by the way. That's once through the A part. That whole bit would repeat because we usually do 2 A's back to back, and then we'd go on to the B part, which we'll carry on with now. So again, some repetition. In fact, it starts with the phrase that ends the A part, that starts with that kind of slide bit into that line there. So there's hopefully some copy and paste in this tune. So let's finish up. Let's hit the last half of the B part, and then we'll come back and do the whole bit all together again. So here we go. Last half of the B part. So again, a lot of repetition of this tune. There's only a couple of phrases and they're just sort of rearranged in different spots. Let's do one whole B part so you get familiar with that. Nice and slow here. Here we go. Success, hopefully. Got through the whole tune. If you're not super comfortable with any of the melody there, go back and review it, hit those run-throughs just to make sure you got that part locked down before we carry on with the ornamentation. You know, this tune is built around arpeggios that that 1, 3, 5, or D, F sharp, A kind of move, and I don't generally tend to over ornament those kind of things. What I will do is usually cut the F sharp. I'll cut the second note. And then a roll on the E to finish that first half of the phrase. Really classic sound. There's a bunch of tunes that use that B to E jump in a D major tune. And a nice little roll on there really fits that, I think. You could do a triplet there in that beginning phrase rather than... Could throw a triplet in there. That particular one doesn't really jump out of the whistle that well, but the tune is often written that way, so you might see that if you do go digging around for sheet music, but it kind of works. The hook to this tune, the part that really makes it stand out, I guess, from other happy D major reels, is that the kind of sliding bit going from the E to the F sharp in the second octave. So when we get to that, particularly the first time, I really want to lean on that. That's kind of the way that I like to accent the hook and make sure that I'm aware that that's the hook. You know, that's sort of my take with these things. So that's the bit that I'm going to be focused on when I'm playing this tune, or what I'm thinking about. That's kind of my most important ornament. So when we play that, nothing else really I'm doing for that kind of descending line except a couple of cuts. And then a good cut to separate those two bottom Ds. Kind of important to get those to stand out clearly. When we get into the B part, same thing on that's that same phrase. Again, the hook is still there, so I want to slide that or cut it or really give it some sort of an accent. Again, not a whole lot else there other than just a couple of cuts. Still cutting that F sharp. So far it's the highest note in the phrase, really, and I like to punch that when I can. So I'll slide maybe the first one. Then cuts descending down that same line as we did in the A part. Second half of the B part is just a repeat. And the turnaround is an important piece there, which we didn't really cover in the basic melody, just kind of getting from point A to point B. So the B part finishes on a low D, right? On a bottom D. So we have to go from the lowest note in the instrument all the way up, ultimately to the F sharp. That's how I'll do it a lot of times. Not every time, but a lot of times I'll use that rhythmic triplet that I kind of harp on about so much to get back into that phrase, the hook phrase. So that's what I'm doing with this tune. If you like it, let me know. There's lots more to cover on the Patreon version of this, where we talk about some other more advanced ornaments and such. But if you're interested in winning a whistle, and in particular this whistle, which I promise I will clean off, it does in fact work here. It's got that old school generation sound. I'm not sure exactly when it was made. I got it in a lot of like 8 or 9 other old-timey whistles of various keys. And this one's really nice. It's still glued on and the seal has not yet been broken. So it has not been used a ton. And it's cool. It's an old-time bit of history, I guess, because the new designs have changed a bit. So if you're interested in winning this whistle, there are 3 things you got to do. Same things I always do a giveaway when I do these giveaways is please give me the subscribe, please give me the like on this video, and then comment down below. And if you would, just this time, let me know what the first tune is that you ever learned. If it's an Irish tune, great, I might have a chance of knowing what that is. If it's not, that's okay. But mostly I'm curious about what everybody's first tunes are in case there's some that I haven't covered that might be of value to break down in lesson form or short form or whatever we want to do. I need some new ideas, so this is my cheap excuse of getting new ideas. So give me a comment, give me the like, give me the subscribe if you haven't already, and good luck. I'll make a drawing, I think in 2 weeks, whatever 2 weeks from today's date is. It'll be in the description, details are in there. So yeah, let me know if you want to get down on this one. I will see you on the next one. Cheers, y'all.